Chair, I am going to move to a new topic now. If the commissioners have any questions on the topics of those two chats that we've traversed, I'll pause here.
Thank you. For me, just a few on one aspect, the Constitutional Court judgment. Mr. Mogotsi, by saying that you were still going to get the judgment, when you wrote to the minister about it, you had obviously not read the judgment itself, correct?
That's correct.
Yes. Since you had not read the judgment, you must have heard about what you say in your text to the minister about the judgment, correct?
That's correct.
What exactly had you heard?
PKTT members, there is a acquittal of the people who were forced into 204 statement by the PKTT members.
Who had told you this?
It was, like I said, it came from the social, not like news or online news thing, but whoever sent it to me said the PKTT members.
So there are two things here. What the person who communicated with you said, and also what was in the news. So I want to be sure about the mention of the PKTT.
Yeah.
Was it by the person who communicated with you, or was it by the media? Was it in the news?
Yeah, it was in the news, but like a senior counsel was saying, so you thought it was the PKTT. I acceded,
So-
yes.
Yeah. So are you saying specifically that the news mentioned the PKTT?
The person who sent me the message on WhatsApp, they showing me the PKTT members.
Not the news. So the news made no mention of the PKTT.
Yeah, I cannot confirm it was the news. No, did not.
And who was the person who told you this?
It's one of the, is it on the group or, but there is this 3 groups. I can try and verify where this thing come from. Maybe after lunch, I should just go in and look for it quickly. I can try and get where and the source of that.
How was this communicated to you?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Oh, so you still have this somewhere?
No, if you go to, if it was a news link, I will have to look for that particular phrase, like 204. Go to Google just to research quickly how was it phrased.
Without suggesting that news is always accurate, but I would be very surprised that this was in the news, because this case had nothing to do with the PKTT. Do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, the fact that the question was posed as to whether Mr. Mogotsi, did you read the statement? Answering no means I cannot I should be directed given what the fact says as we speak.
I will tell you that the judgment concerned events that took place in the Western Cape that had nothing to do with the PKTT. Do you accept that?
I accept on the basis that probably I did not read the judgment. I accept that the judgment may have not said the PKTT, but I know that I don't know if commissioner is saying it has nothing to do with the PKTT because it's not in the KZN.
No.
No, if that's not the case.
I'm just stating the fact that case had nothing to do with the PKTT.
Okay. I accede.
But I may add also that what we have heard thus far, unless you're going to suggest otherwise, is that the PKTT was involved in KZN and also in the Eastern Cape Fort Hare cases and in Tata case. And we've not heard anything else. Yes, a few members came to assist in Gauteng, That's all we have heard. But that's not the point I was making. I was just saying to you that case had nothing to do with the PKTT.
I agree.
It related to Western Cape events that had nothing to do with the PKTT.
I agree, Commissioner.
Why did you rush to tell the minister about the judgment when you had not yourself read the judgment?
Like I said, it happened so quickly, and even to date, I've not read the judgment. It happened that quickly, and I typed that message. I thought it was the PKTT.
All right. Just remind me again, what do you say about sourcing for us the information that relates to what was communicated to you? Are you saying you're going to get that for us?
No, I was saying it was before you say it's a fact, Commissioner. Now that you say it's a fact, there's nothing, there's no need for me to look for anything.
No, I'm interested in who told you about this.
No, I would not even find who told me. I was going to check how was it phrased, whether it is phrased in some of the media links. But if it's a fact,
let me ask you directly then. Who gave you that information? The information that this was about the PKTT. Who gave you that information?
I can't remember.
On something that you consider to be so crucial, Minister, we are going to be, you and General Sibia now have a basis for having General Khumalo arrested. Surely that must have been something quite important to you, was it not? The arrest of a general, especially at your instance, is not something that happens every day. Is that not so?
It is so. I believe, Commissioners, it seems like it is about General Khumalo. Here, I'm talking of people who were sent to life, were sentenced to life. They had to go. It's not easy to go from High Court to SCA and finally get a judgment in the Constitutional Court. It's not everyone. So I'm saying that how much they lost, the time in prison, all their resources. I even said, even after 30 years of democracy, I was just feeling for those people. Where I am wrong is to align or attach that to the PKTT.
Did you not consider this subject to be of importance?
It is important. It was important.
The subject that you communicated with the minister about, did you not consider it to be important?
I did.
So I would have thought that it should be quite easy to know who communicated to you the fact that this was about the PKTT.
You know, it could have, even the message that I sent that talks about the property from the CI and this, I cannot really tell you now who sent it to me, but it's very, very important.
Thank you. Advocate Baloyi.
Thank you.
Baloyi, sing Baloyi.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Still on that message or exchange with the minister, that page 52 that you were discussing now with the chairperson, you say there that the minister or Sibia or General Sibia can charge Khumalo. That's what you say. I didn't hear your explanation why you skipped the National Commissioner.
I was saying General Sibia was the immediate line manager to General Khumalo.
Yes. And then you say the minister, the executive authority that can do that. And my question is, the operational issues of discipline are not, at least in my understanding, are not ministerial functions. Why do you say the minister and skip the National Commissioner?
Yes, the letter, this message was directed to the minister, and as I said, I also realized, as we speak of the internal processes, that the minister cannot charge an individual.
No, but you understand, I think you earlier on told Mr. Chaskalson that you know the workings of the SAPS, so you know that the minister cannot discipline. It must mean that you know that.
I said I didn't. I realized later that it is not the minister who can do that. It is. Remember, it is not that I am acquainted with or conversant with everything in SAPS.
Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. And where in that message you say, now we got something. Now we got something. Before this, you were searching. It suggests that before this, you had been searching and you were not succeeding, and now we got them. Am I wrong to read to that the emphasis of now to mean that? That you're telling the minister, we've been looking, now we've got something to discipline them.
Yeah, you are not wrong to think it that way, but that's not what I mean.
So you say I'm not wrong.
No, you have to think, Commissioner is saying, Madam Commissioner is saying, do you agree that I'm not wrong to think this way? Indeed, you are not wrong to think that way.
Okay. So I'm correct that the communication here means you had been looking for something, and now you're telling the minister we've got them finally.
Not necessarily, Commissioner. Maybe the word, English is very troublesome. We just like it. Maybe I just said, now we have something. But I did not imply, as you were saying, if I mention something, there must have been some communication.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Why are you sending your communication with the minister to Mr. Matlala about judgments and about Khumalo being disciplined? Why did you think, or why did you know, in fact, that it would be of interest to Mr. Matlala that you are communicating this with the minister?
I was showing him that I'm still close to the minister, and the PKTT, which was it was news for him, also good news, that he hears it from me. That suggestion, because he talks about the PKTT.
Sorry, your answer is?
It would interest him. According to me, I just thought, because the PKTT, just like the letter that I said, the PKTT that came to your house, he will have interest in that to hear if I suggest that, because that was what I was thinking.
No, but you see, your text doesn't mention the PKTT, it mentions Khumalo.
Yeah.
So you knew he would be interested that Khumalo is to be disciplined, that you're talking to the minister about disciplining Khumalo. You knew that.
It's true. Khumalo, who is the head of the PKTT?
Why did you think Mr. Matlala has an interest in Khumalo being disciplined?
Not Khumalo only.
No, you're referring to Khumalo here.
Yes,
let's take it one step at a time. Your message here speaks only to Khumalo. You haven't said in this message anyone else is to be disciplined, right? You say Khumalo will be disciplined. The question is, why did you think Mr. Matlala has an interest in knowing that you're speaking to the minister about disciplining Khumalo?
Yeah, it's because Khumalo is the head of the PKTT. And like as I said yesterday, I thought, commissioners, if you can know what I think of that message now, it's totally different from what I thought then. Now I can see this message did not have any weight, it's meaningless. But that time I thought, because PKTT is headed by General Khumalo, so for this thing that people went to prison for nothing, he must also be accountable. That's what I thought.
No, but you see, you're wrong. The message is not meaningless then and now. It's not meaningless. It's very meaningful. You're telling the minister, here's a judgment. You, CBA, must discipline, right? It must discipline Khumalo. And you share that with Madala, who has an interest because PKTT people have come to his house. So it is a meaningful message. You can't downplay it now, Mr. Mogotsi.
The content to think that to say Khumalo must be disciplined,
yes,
it's very wrong. That's what I'm saying. Because in the first place, like what you alluded to yesterday, if this was a criminal case and you ask me, did Khumalo arrest those people and force them to fall? The answer would be no, and I will be at fault with that.
Okay. And then you've said to the chairperson, and I think it's not the first time, but you did not read this judgment that you are referring to. It was given to you and you just forwarded it to the minister, or you told the minister. Yes. Let me correct that. You were told about the judgment and then you mentioned it to the minister, and then you say, Khumalo, you didn't read this judgment, right?
That's correct.
Now, you've admitted the judgment doesn't refer to PKTT and doesn't refer to Khumalo at all. Is this, you accept that this is yet another case of you saying things that are not supported by facts? So you communicate to the minister something that you didn't check and that is untrue. This judgment has nothing to do with the PKTT. You accept that?
Excellent.
Okay. Now, the WhatsApp exchange is in page 52, if you would just go there. And I have only one question maybe about it. You say, why did you share this with Matlala? Why did Matlala, because it's quite cryptic, by the way. So on its face, it doesn't tell anything. It just says, please update. That's page 52. Minister Nkunu said that to you. You say to him, you say something, it was during your tenure. You had said that at 3:07. You said you don't remember what that was. There are a number of telephone calls. And then you say we got a breakthrough on the 24th. And then the next page is the minister asking, was the arrest effected? Now, anyone reading this, unless you tell us what you were discussing with Mr. Matlala so that this makes sense, anyone reading this exchanges between you and Mr. Matlala, it doesn't make sense. It lacks content. Why do you share this with Mr. Matlala when it has absolutely no content, unless on the phone call you have discussed with him and he knows exactly what these communications are about?
It is not that, it is just that now I don't remember. It's not that I'm saying this never happened, or that time it had a meaning. I so wish I could remember, but I don't remember.
And so you don't remember why you even shared with Mr. Matlala?
No, Matlala had to keep him abreast that I'm working with the minister. That is something else.
Okay.
I would always talk to him.
And here you are working with the minister about what? His contract is not yet cancelled, as I understand. It's December 27th. Why do you need to be persuading Mr. Matlala that you are working with the minister about what?
Not to work with the minister, that I'm close to him. I'm showing him that I always talk to him.
Yeah, what I'm asking is, his contract is not cancelled yet at this point. So why do you need to persuade him that you are working with the minister or you are close to the minister?
I don't know how to put it, commissioners. If you want to win somebody's trust, and then and you work, how do I put, like any other message that I send him about the intelligence vehicles and what, is to show a person that I'm doing my job. This is what I'm doing and I'm working with the minister. The unfortunate part is that the minister didn't know. And so you'll just show someone.
Okay. Now, lastly, it's the discussion about the IPID guy. I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I understood your evidence this morning to be that you were not interested in the arrest itself, but in the IPID guy. You wanted to know who is this IPID guy.
That's correct.
Is that correct?
Yes. Mainly, I wanted to know in particular who's this person.
What does mainly mean, that qualifier?
In the midst of all these things, that yes, he needed to get justice for his wife and his assault. But my focus was to get this iPad person.
So you were interested in an arrest as well being made?
Yeah, the arrest is not about interest. I mean, if someone is being arrested and his wife being beaten up in front of him, that justice, no one has the right to do that.
Okay.
I cannot deny that the arrester would even want to see it. I mean, yeah.
You actually encouraged it because you actually helped him to go and open a case in Soweto.
It's true. That's correct, Commissioner.
And according to you, who would have been arrested on that case? You know the facts. You know who went to his house.
No, I was.
Who, according to you, would have been arrested?
Would be the person who manhandled his wife and him.
And you wanted the name of the IPID guy that would help him with that?
No, because he mentioned him along those lines, I also wanted to know him as to who is this person.
Thank you.
Commissioner?
Sorry, yes.
I'm sitting here, asking myself questions as I'm responding one by one. And I'm responding to the same table that says to me, even the oath that I have taken, they don't believe it binding my conscience. If someone is in my shoes, does it really help for me to be here? Or as we go on, it will start to bind in the mind of the commissioners? Is it still appropriate for me to be sitting here giving evidence on a known fact that the oath that I've taken doesn't help?
Mr. Mogotsi, please do not make a mistake. What is put to you by way of questioning in no way means that decisions, conclusive findings have been made by this commission. I think you asked me a similar question yesterday. I forget, or I think you asked whether we believe that you are in fact a co-agent. Am I mistaken? I think that's the question you put.
That was the question.
And I said to you, Mr. Mogotsi, we are going to make our findings at some stage down the line. So take it from me when I say at this stage, we have not made any findings, but that does not mean that we will not test what you are saying or what is apparent to us from documents. We are going to test that. All of that will assist us in the end in making findings. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Sorry, Mr. Mogotsi, I thought I had finished about the IPID guy. I have one last question that I wanted to ask that I overlooked. At page 47, right at the bottom of those exchanges, you say to Mr. Matlala, this is still about the IPID guy, I think, in the sequence of conversations.
47.
Yes. 47, yes. Right at the bottom? So the exchange before that is from Mr. Matlala. He says to you, there's a bit of a hurdle there, but I will fill you in. Now, we know from earlier evidence that you gave that this conversation is still about the IPID person. But then the very last comment is from you, or message is from you, where you say, will it work? What were you asking here? What would work? Remember, it's about the IPID person. He's just said.
Oh, yes, but,
yes.
He said, I wanted to know if he said there's a bit of a hurdle. I just want to know, but will it work?
What will work ultimately?
Whatever that is doing with the IPID person.
Will the IPID person go
succeed?
And
yes.
No, let me just make sure that you understand what I'm asking. When you ask him, will it work here? Were you asking him, will the IPID person make the arrest happen?
Definitely.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
It is still morning, Mr. Mogotsi. I didn't want to say Good afternoon. The charts that we have been looking at, especially the one on page, it starts on page 57, continues to page 58. So you see that the date of those charts is 31 December 2024.
That's correct.
Yes, and these are the chats between you and Mr. Matlala because they were obtained from Mr. Matlala's phone.
That's correct.
And we know that 31 December 2024 is the date when the minister drafted the disbandment letter.
That's correct.
We can accept that.
You accept it.
Did you know that the minister was at home on that day?
I did not know where the minister was.
You did not know. And you sending your communication with the minister to Mr. Matlala, correct?
That's correct.
Because on 31 December 2024, you want to show Mr. Matlala that you and the minister are discussing the PKTT, or at least people in the leadership of the PKTT, correct?
Not discussing that. I sent him a message.
Yes.
Remember, the minister did not respond.
Yes.
If it's me, it was a one-way communication.
No, I'm saying you are sending this to Mr. Matlala.
Yes.
And the purpose of you sending it to Mr. Matlala is to show Mr. Matlala that at least you are discussing the PKTT with the minister.
Yeah, that I sent him
Yes.
a message. Yes.
And that you are portraying the PKTT or at least its leadership in a negative light. Is that correct? Because you're not saying positive things about the PKTT or its leadership.
In that context, yes.
Yeah. So you are portraying the PKTT in a negative light.
To Matlala.
You are showing Matlala
That's
that
correct.
you are portraying to the minister the PKTT in a negative light.
No, I'm not showing that. That's not in that context. To show this is where there's a court judgment.
Yeah.
It's a fact. You don't portray. You are showing him. This is now what I think
Yeah.
the PKTT have done, and this is what my suggestion is
Yes.
to the minister.
So you are suggesting to the minister that the PKTT is doing wrong things.
That there's a court judgment.
Yes.
Yes, not the PK. Here we are not referring mainly to the PKTT. I'm referring to the judgment. That here's the judgment, and I feel the leader of the PKTT should be accountable.
Yes.
Yes.
No, we're saying the same thing. You were referring to a judgment,
Yes.
but what interested you in the judgment was the conduct of the PKTT,
That's correct.
which you thought was bad.
Inappropriately so, yes.
Yes. And this is around 11:18 in the morning, so it's 18 minutes after 11.
Yes.
Yes. And then what follows this text is a text on page 59 to Mr. Matlala, where you say to him, today is D-Day on the other side. You see that?
I see that, 100%.
And what I'm going to suggest to you is that the only thing of relevance or significance that happened that day is the disbandment of the PKTT by the minister.
Absolutely.
At least that is relevant to Mr. Matlala. I mean, I'm sure the whole country would have been celebrating the end of the year. But in these exchanges, the only thing of significance that happened that day is the disbandment of the PKTT.
That's correct. That's correct.
And this suggests, at least to me, that at 11:32 on the 31st of December 2024, you knew that PKTT was going to be disbanded that day. And that's the message you were sending to Mr. Matlala, that this is D-Day. This is the day when PKTT is going to be disbanded.
The suggestion, Commissioner, is misplaced, Commissioner. Here it was a D-Day. Remember I said it was, this is what I said. If you check the message, outstanding issues. But from the top, it started by, I'm now worried, my brah.
Yes.
He said, worried about. And I said, the outstanding issues, now this again. Then I said, okay, today is the D-Day on the other side. I think you must also stand back. The D-Day was the pay for the payment of the January 8. And then to stand back, look, this is now what supports the stand back. He asked me, stand back, don't understand what you mean. Then I only spoke about your safety and business, because I did allude even yesterday. It was after I heard that they were going to Matlala. I don't want to say attack, but they were going to do a similar thing which they did previously. That is why I even say, if you check the next one, I said, we must just fight what comes your way to help him. It was his way. There's nothing to do with the PKTT and all those stuff and all those things. Now, I don't know, Commissioner, if I should talk about the letter that you say it gave impression to the minister, and I've also showed to Kate.
No, I did not ask about that. I'm only focusing on this text.
Yeah,
so D-Day to you referred to payments for 8 January.
That's correct.
So why did it have to be D-Day on the 31st of December?
Because
2024.
It was what we agreed with the arrangement for the people who were going to get on that we're going to pay. And the focus, as I've said, let's say there's no D-Day, and I say you must stand back, and he asks me from what? And I say for your safety and your business. If it was the PKTT, when he says stand back from what, I should have said something big is coming that is going to make you happy, or something to show that I was awaiting the disbandment. But we were talking specifically about his safety and his business.
Yes. And his safety and his business have everything to do with PKTT and not the 8 January event of the ANC.
Yes, that's what I said, because the D-Day is separate.
Yes.
On other issues, it's a D-Day on the other side.
Yes.
Yes, but now...
And then when he asks you why he must stand back, you say it relates to your safety and your business.
Yes.
Which means it relates to the PKTT.
Because they were going to go, as I heard, they were going to go to him again. There was a stage when they took all these firearms, whereas he's running a private security, doing some VIP. That's what he was telling me. You could not run that without firearms.
Yesterday, you told us that in September 2024, you assisted some people to open a case against the PKTT in Midrand. Do you remember that?
Against General Mkhwanazi, yes.
Yes. Did you tell the minister about that?
No.
In December 2024, did you have, other than the text that we have seen, did you have discussions with the minister about the PKTT and their raid at Mr. Matlala's house and business? Did you tell the minister about that?
I can't remember.
You can, but it's possible that you did.
No.
No, but if you can't remember, then you can't say it did not happen. Either you remember or you don't remember.
No, I never told the minister. And if I don't remember, doesn't mean I did.
Yes.
If one cannot remember, it's just that this is here now. You will find out even this letter that I wrote to the minister, I may have sent to another person also about the judgment, constitutional court judgment. But I don't remember sending or informing the minister that they have beaten Kat's wife, and I know. And I never even spoke to the minister about Kat.
Okay. And then one last point. Just looking at the long text on page 58 and the content of the long text, I think my colleague, Commissioner Baloy, has taken you through it. You are advising or suggesting to the minister that either he or Sibiya must charge Khumalo and apply Rule 9 of the disciplinary hearing. Do you see that?
I see that.
Do you accept that on its face, this is you interfering with police matters at a high level, on matters that have nothing to do with you or your community in the Northwest? Do you accept that this is interference in police matters?
Commissioners, you seeing me sitting here, it should not go out of the mind of the commissioners that I'm still a citizen of South Africa. I'm still an individual. It's not the first time, that I send a message to someone or request an intervention of some sort from other people. I did. So to write this, I can give you two practical examples. There is one general of the army from Mahikeng. He was a well-known person, General Madumani. He had some problems before he passed on. The commission, I don't know if you are aware, I called the deputy president, Mashatile, and he referred me to the HOD requesting an intervention. Unfortunately, the HOD, as we were starting, the person passed on. I'm saying it is possible, it may have been, this should not be misconstrued just because his minister says. Even if it was like the former minister, I would call him. I would send him messages. It's not in the start because of Minister says.
Mr. Mogotsi, I'm being patient. The case in Cape Town had nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do with your community. And here you are advising a minister to charge a senior general in the SAPS. I'm saying to you, that is interference in police matters.
Commissioner, it means you are suggesting to me what happens in the Cape Flats, people being raped and killed, has nothing to do with me and the commissioner. Commissioner, this is South Africa. It is our South Africa. There's nothing wrong to tell a member of parliament or the president or whoever about a particular problem in Eastern Cape or elsewhere. Besides being an agent, this should not be brought in my line of work.
So let me put it the other way. If Mr. Ket Matlala had said to the minister, I want you to arrest Kumalo or to charge Kumalo, as an ordinary citizen, that would have been fine. There would have been nothing wrong with that.
There would be nothing wrong with that. I mean, it is him.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Mr. Johnson.
Chair, there is one follow-up question that I just do want to ask, and I just want to clarify with you, Mr. Mogotsi. It's that chat from the minister when he asks, was the arrest effected? And if I understood your evidence correctly, you were saying, or what he was actually interested in was the escape of the Zama Zama Kingpin. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So he wanted the Zama Zama Kingpin arrested because the Zama Zamas had arrested and some police had been arrested, and some police had conspired to let the Kingpin go at Stilfontein.
Not in that context, commissioners. I said there was a community meeting which the minister went to meet with the community leaders. And that particular commitment and intention from the community was made that the community was going to arrest this person, the Zama Zama Kingpin. So I'm trying to say, he asked me specifically because I was with that community to find out, did they effect that arrest? Did they find the person?
And are we talking about the Zama Zamas who were underground in Stilfontein? Was the community going to go underground and arrest the Zama Zamas?
No, the Kingpin was arrested and he escaped. He did not escape back into the hole.
So this was after they'd come up and been arrested and escaped?
That's correct.
You see, Mr. Matlala, that's what I thought your evidence was, but that can't be correct. Because the Zama Zamas only came up from the shaft in the second week of January 2025. And this conversation took place on the 24th of December. Well, this text was sent on the 24th of December 2024.
Commissioner,
So it couldn't have related to the escape of someone who hadn't yet been arrested before he escaped.
Commissioner, you are I think there's a misconception. The Zama Zama Kingpin has never went in and out. He was arrested for these activities. He was never inside the hole.
Are we talking about the same person, Tiger Tswaedi?
Commissioner?
Are we talking about the same person, Tiger Tswaedi?
The Kingpin. I can't remember. I think it's his. I can't remember his name. That guy is Italian from Lesotho. I'll have to find out. I must check the right name.
Because what I do want to put to you is that it's quite clear that an alleged kingpin of the Zama Zamas called Tiger Tswaedi was arrested and did escape. And there was national press about it, there was controversy about it. And he was described as the kingpin of the Zama Zamas in Stilfontein, and he escaped. But that escape only took place in the second week of January 2025. So it couldn't be what you were talking to the minister about on the 24th of December 2024.
Commissioners, I'm still repeating again. Where now Tiger is this Kingpin, like you said, there was a national thing. That's why I say I can't remember that name. There was a Kingpin who was also arrested in Stilfontein. Now you are talking about something else, somebody now who also appeared on the news. It's not that one. There was someone who, that's why even the community was looking for, was terrorizing the people, forcing them to go inside the hold for mining. That particular person. We are talking about two different people here.
So we're no longer talking about Zama Zama kingpins.
Is a Zama Zama also?
I don't want to take that one further.
Sorry, just to be
because
clear.
that's the meeting which was arranged by the chief of staff for me to meet the minister there, for the minister to meet the community.
For the minister to meet the community.
Yes.
That was earlier in 2024.
It was in 2024. And after that, as we were talking, it was about that.
Right. Mr. Mogotsi, just to make sure that I understand, the Kingpin Tswaedi is the one that was arrested and 4 members of the SAPS were accused of assisting him, and that's your evidence. You've been saying.
Yes, that's correct.
That's the arrest you were talking about.
Yes, that's correct.
Right, of the 4 members. So it is Tswaedi you were talking about. Now you're introducing a second person, but your evidence, if you remain with your earlier evidence, that it's a Zama Zama kingpin who was arrested, who escaped, and 4 members of the SAPS were accused of assisting him, because that's your evidence, if that's who you're talking about. Rather, if you still stick with that evidence, then you are speaking about Tswaedi. And he escaped on the 15th of January 2025. Those are the facts.
Those are the facts.
Yes.
That's correct. But it is not what, look, commissioners, the minister was not in Stilfontein in January. And I'm trying to understand that commission perhaps think it's so difficult to say, yes, minister, I was telling the minister about the arrest of the PKT. It was not. It was about the person in Stilfontein. This person, now you are talking about that rich person. There is this guy who also, and it is something that I can promise you. I think I can get the case number of this particular person.
What was this particular person that you're talking about now? Also arrested, escaped, and 4 members of the SAPS?
No, not 4 members of the SAPS,
okay.
no.
Thank you.
Can I just ask you a follow-up? Sorry, Chair, go ahead.
Thank you. Is there a record anywhere of the mention of this second kingpin that you are talking about?
Yeah.
A kingpin that you and the minister would have been concerned about his arrest? Is there any record anywhere, newspapers or whatever else?
We'll find it, because now the matter which they are talking about, current, which commission is referring to now, about Tiger. That's why I could not say it was Tiger. There was a person, maybe I'm using this word, Kingpin, in Stelfontein, who was forcing people to go into to do this Zama Zamas. That person was arrested and he ran away.
And he was doing this from where?
From Stelfontein.
Any idea where exactly in Stilfontein?
No, I can try and find something today because when we in Stilfontein, there was a community meeting. I only came on the day of the community. I was not part of that thing. And I kept on talking to this individual from the community who said they let this person run away purposely. We're going to look for him. And I kept on asking him, did you arrest him? Did you arrest him? He said no.
So, but definitely not from underground. He was not doing this from underground.
I cannot confirm. I don't know. I think even the person I was talking to, I'll find his number and ask him properly maybe during lunch, because I only communicated to him about this particular person, about that meeting after the minister went there.
So it's you and who else that know about this? This second person who is not Tiger.
It's not the second person. I think it happened before. He was forcing people to go into the...
No. I think in response to questions by Mr. Chaskalsin and also my co-commissioner, Commissioner Baloyi, I understood you to be suggesting that this is someone other than Tiger Tswayede.
Yeah, even Tiger, I don't know him, but I know I'll find out about it when that's correct, Commissioner.
So my question was, let's leave out the media or whatever other source. It's you and who know about this other person who may possibly not be Mr. Tiger Tswayede.
Yeah, because it was in December. It is from the community, that side, and it was in December, that one. Obviously, it's not...
I'm not asking you about the time. I'm asking about who else knows about this person. And don't please, but only if you can, please do not refer me to Stilfontein generally or in general terms. I want to know who else.
The people of Stilfontein.
I just said, please don't refer me to Stilfontein in general, unless you say to me, I don't know. All I know is that it's people from Stilfontein. So I'm asking for specifics. Who else other than you knows of this person who may possibly not be Mr. Tiger Tswayede?
Yes, Commissioner, I don't know if Commission expect me to say the name of the person that I was talking about.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not at liberty to do that.
Why not?
The person who was helping is to put this man on the target for the Zama Zamas to know he was talking to me.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mogotsi, we've already established that these chats are between you and Mr. Matlala, correct?
That's correct.
In December 2024.
Yes.
Now, why would Mr. Matlala be interested in the arrest of a Zama Zama Kingpin?
It's not the arrest of him. And I'm showing you, I was sending Matlala almost, even things which were not relevant to him, I would show him. Like also, as we were talking, there was even a stage when me and him were talking about the police officer. Now, after that, who was suspended from this thing of the person who escaped.
Let me leave it there.
To move to a completely different topic, I'd like us to move now to the 252A operation. And if we can start with your statement, and if we go to the foot of page 9, paragraph 35, you say the following: in December 2024, Matlala referred me to a high-ranking police officer and I subsequently met him. I knew him as I had conducted an operation with him in the past. He shared information with me of the intention to craft a negative finding in a disciplinary hearing against Major General Khan. So the starting point for this whole process is a reference from Mr. Matlala. He brings you someone, puts you in touch with someone. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And this person, he says, will tell you about a plot to convict General Khan.
That's correct.
Did he tell you how he found this person, this police officer?
He didn't tell me.
Did it strike you as odd that Mr. Matlala, who you suspect of being a criminal and who you are investigating for corruption in SAPS, comes to you with a witness to be able to prove and expose corruption in SAPS? Why would Mr. Matlala want to expose corruption in SAPS?
I don't know, but I don't know why I would want to expose.
Did it not strike you odd that your primary target, who's suspected of
It did not.
corrupting the procurement process, is now wanting to expose corruption in SAPS?
It did not.
I see. Now, the ultimate target of this operation was Generals Khumalo and Mkonazi. You go to paragraph 36 of your statement, you say, the intention was to employ this person as a Section 204 witness against both Lieutenant Colonel Khumalo and Lieutenant General Mkonazi, who plotted against Major General Khan with reference to the disciplinary hearing outcome. Say that you gave a statement to Lieutenant Colonel Schneller. Part of the strategy behind the disciplinary hearing instituted against Major General Khan was that he would be employed in that situation to give implicating testimony against Major General Khan at the insistence of Lieutenant General Khumalo and Lieutenant General Mkonazi. So if I understand you correctly, you're saying this officer who Mr. Matlala wants you to use to expose corruption in SAPS says he is being used by General Khumalo and General Mkonazi to give false evidence against General Khan. Is that broadly correct?
That's correct.
And you then go to meet the officer, and essentially he tells you that he will only change his story to what he says is the truth if you ensure that he gets promoted to the level of full colonel and you give him a bag of cash. Is that correct?
He spoke about something, and he said, yeah, he was talking about a bag. Maybe he implied cash, but he never said bag of cash.
You said bag, you didn't mention cash. What did you understand the bag to contain? The bag that he wanted, what would have to be in the bag?
No, a bag would be...
I mean, was he looking for a sort of smart handbag or something?
No.
Or was he looking for a bag of cash?
Yeah, that will imply cash, of course.
Yeah, I thought so too. Let's date this meeting. If you go to evidence bundle 51.
Sorry, exhibits or annexures.
Evidence bundle in this case, but we will move between annexures and evidence bundles. So unfortunately, we may need both. Sorry, exhibit. Sorry.
You said page
50.
Thank you.
And this shouldn't be displayed because the name of the investigating colonel shouldn't be displayed. But what we see at this is a WhatsApp that was sent to Lieutenant Colonel Schneller, who was going to be in charge of the 252A operation. It was sent by the investigator from the Hawks who came with you to that meeting with the source, who was going to change his story. And in paragraph 2, he reports the following. the colonel, who's going to change his story, contacted Mr. Brown and he arranged a meeting for Wednesday, 29 January 2025. So the meeting was on 29 January 2025. Is that correct? Mr. Mogotsi?
This is the WhatsApp which was sent to Colonel Schnell.
Yes, but I'm interested in the dates and times. It says 29 January 2025 and the meeting at the Houghton Hotel at approximately 18:23. Does that correspond with what you recall?
Yeah, but I'm not sure about this date.
Sorry, you're not sure about the date of 29 January?
Yes.
When do you think the meeting did take place?
It's the same, where we were not good with dates. Remember, I was so much, I kept on saying to the commission, the recording happened in December, somewhere or January. I was not sure. But I think if we proceed, we can proceed. I'll take this date. I'm just not sure. Remember, it's someone who typed. I cannot really say, yes, it was on this date.
Perhaps we can help by going to your affidavit. Which is in the exhibit bundle at page 43.
That's correct.
There,
Yes, it confirms on the affidavit.
and paragraph 5, at the foot of page 43, there you say on Wednesday, 29 January 2025, at approximately 18:23. I was accompanied by, and then you give the name of the investigator. So those dates are correct,
Yeah, they did that.
date and time, because you would have made that affidavit quite soon after the event. Let's go to page 106 of the annexure bundle now and see what happened in the chats when you came out of that meeting. If you
106.
106, indeed. If you go down to 2015, so that would have been less than 2 hours after your meeting with your source started. At 2015, you text Mr. Matlala and you say to him, the meeting was positive. Are we referring to the same meeting? Maybe if you read further. Is he willing to help you guys, says Mr. Matlala. You respond, I just wish he could help with a statement.
That's correct. That's
And
correct.
then you say, I think he needs cash. So we're talking about what's happened at this meeting.
Correct.
And you go over the page, and Mr. Matlala's response at the top of page 107 is, okay, arrange with Khan to give him cash if the information he has is worth it.
That's correct.
So Mr. Matlala is saying he wants cash, speak to General Khan. We give him the cash if the information is going to be worth it.
That's correct.
So let's just take a step back. Mr. Matlala is a suspected criminal you're investigating.
That's correct.
He refers you to an apparently corrupt SAPS officer who is willing to tailor his evidence if he's paid enough.
That's correct.
And Mr. Matlala says you should get General Khan to pay the officer to give evidence that will incriminate General Mkhonazi and General Khumalo.
No. For him to make a statement, not to incriminate. as such. Remember, it is the man coming to me saying, I'm being told to incriminate the person. Now, and I'm going back to the person who gave me the senior officer to say, I think this person wants cash. And you say, it means therefore that it is this general who's affected. I must ask him that he is the one who must finance this.
See, but you say it's not to incriminate them, but in fact, if you go back to your witness statement at paragraph 37, you said that was the purpose. The strategy behind the disciplinary hearing instituted against Major General Khan was that he, in other words, this officer, would be employed in that situation.
That's correct.
To give implicating testimony against Major General Khan at the insistence of Lieutenant General Khumalo and Lieutenant General Mkonazi.
That's correct.
And so the whole purpose of this operation is to expose Lieutenant General Khumalo and Lieutenant General Mkonazi, is it not?
Yes, it's to use this statement correctly. That's
And
correct.
you want to use it as a Section 204 witness, you say in paragraph 36.
That's correct.
And that presupposes that there will be criminal charges against Lieutenant Colonel Khumalo and Lieutenant General Mkonazi.
It's true.
Because you don't have 204 witnesses unless you're in a
correct.
criminal case.
That's correct.
So let's scroll forward a little bit in these chats to page 114. And on 2 February at 12:27, Mr. Matlala sends you a story about the plot against General Khan being exposed. It says, breaking, police witnesses change statements for promotion. Then there's a long story about the trumped up charges against General Khan and how witnesses have come clean and said that they were persuaded to give false evidence against Khan. You recall that chat?
Adequate.
Your response to that chat is revealing. That's on page 115 at 12:27. You say, disappointed. You recall that?
Yes, correct.
And then you say, just have to leave everything. Then there are 2 calls between you and Mr. Matlala. And then you say, small session with lawyers. All of this is happening almost immediately. What was the small session with lawyers you were talking about?
Just that there was no session with lawyers.
Sorry, there was no session with lawyers.
Yeah.
There wasn't one.
There was no.
So this was a false statement you made to Mr. Matlala.
Because I did not answer his phone.
So you were just explaining why you didn't answer his phone.
That's correct.
But if we look at the time, the text that you sent to him was at 12:27:52. His calls were at 12:27:56 and 12:28:05, and then you respond to him again at 12:28. So are you saying that you deliberately chose not to answer his phone, you wanted to communicate with him on text? And you need to have a reason to explain that.
It's not that I did not. I wanted him to tell me what he was saying.
Sorry, you wanted him?
To perhaps tell me what he was saying. I did not take the call that time.
Well, he then says this is in your favor, actually. It disrupts their plan against Khan. He says that to you. You see that?
He said that to me.
Yes. Why would he think that disrupting a plan against Khan is in your favor?
He was referring to the publication that you just showed.
But why would it be in your favor to disrupt a plan against Khan?
I don't know why he sent me that message.
You respond to him by saying maybe, but that's not my plan. So you're saying it will disrupt the plan against Khan, but it wasn't what you had in mind. Is that correct?
That's correct.
What did you have in mind?
When I say maybe.
When you say, but that's not my plan, what was your plan?
That's not my plan is the response that I gave to Kate. And now the question is, what was my plan then?
Well, let me put to you what I think your plan was and why you were disappointed. Your plan was always to use this case to target General Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi. You accept that? That was your plan.
That's not the plan. The reason I said I was disappointed, remember, I did write on my statement that I leaked that publication.
I know what you wrote, but...
Now, the moment you give me someone to help me with whatever, that how we recorded the person, and it quickly appeared on the news that the same person who gave me information about the plot, it is now known. I was pretending as if I don't know. And I was disappointed.
As if you don't know what?
That this information leaked.
You see, I want to put to you what your plan all along had been, and in fact what you indicated in your statement is that you wanted this colonel to be used in a criminal prosecution of General Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi. That was your original plan, was it not?
Yeah. Commissioners, when you refer to the text here, I'm saying, because you also mentioned...
No, I'm asking whether that was your original plan. We'll talk about the text later.
I don't get the question proper. You're saying apart from the fact that this thing leaked, because the moment it got leaked, it means now I am disappointed because my plan will never work again. That's what you're saying?
That is what I'm saying.
Oh, no, that was not the plan. The plan here was that Kat should not know that this information is leaked because of me. But the intention of the recording, yes, was that plan that you're saying.
Yes, yes. And the leaking meant that plan could never be put into operation.
Yes, but it means the...
Sorry, you said yes.
Yes.
Yes, so the leaking prevented that plan being put into operation. Because once it leaked, you could no longer do your sting with General Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi.
Yeah, once it leaked, it could not proceed.
Yes. Why were you targeting General Mkhwanazi and General Khumalo?
No, I did not target them. They made themselves the target by planning with the person.
I see.
Yes.
So you're saying they told this person to give false evidence about what happened in that drug bust in 2021?
That's what he told me. That's what I recorded out of him. It's not. It is now my statement, but it is now said in the commission like that because he said that.
See, did you bother at the time before you tried to target General Khumalo and General Mkhwanazi this way to check out what story this witness had told when the drug bust happened in 2021, long before he'd had contact with either of the generals?
No, I didn't.
You didn't.
No.
So you didn't investigate this apparently corrupt cop who comes to you from Matlala who says, I will change my story if you pay me enough money, because General Kumalo and General Mkonazi are making me tell a false story. You didn't investigate what he'd said earlier.
Yeah, now here's the situation. It means this senior officer, he may have his original statement, which when he got to Devon, they said he must change. Then he comes to me and say, if he gets something, he will change the statement again.
So he made a statement back in 2021. Then he meets the allegedly corrupt generals Kumalo and Mkonazi, and they lean on him to change the statement in 2024, to make a new statement that's false. And then he says to you, I'll go back to my original true statement if you give me a bag of cash. Is that what you're saying?
He never said, it's not said. He just said, he never mentioned or implied the original statement. He spoke about changing the statement which was given to him in Devon. So not knowing whether he would go to the original statement or not.
Now, if he was present at a drug bust, you'd expect that a statement would exist from him that was taken at the time of the drug bust, would you not?
That's correct.
Did you not ask to look at that statement to see what he said on the day, several years before he had had any contact with General Kumalo or General Mkonazi?
No, I did not ask him.
Maybe we should look at it now. Can you go to Exhibit Bundle 211? So you see, I don't know if you have an unredacted copy. There certainly won't. The copy that goes up will be redacted, but this is his statement. And if you go down to the date on page 212, it's 14 September 2021. You see that? You see that date?
That's correct.
And across the top, it says Boyson's Kaz something stroke, and at the end of it, it says 21.
That's correct.
So this is the statement that he gave in 2021 at the time of the drug bust. So that's correct.
That's correct.
And you will accept that that was long before General Kumalo or General Mkonazi could have had any contact with him in relation to this matter.
It's true.
So let's see what he says. Go to paragraph 5, the foot of page
211.
211.
That's correct.
The driver of the truck which was containing the drugs was pointed to me, whom was already placed under arrest, and members informing me that they're awaiting the photographer to come take pictures of the said packages of drugs which were placed inside a police bakkie. While the scene was being explained to me, I was surprised to see one general of intelligence. Now, would that be General Khan?
I cannot confirm.
Are you aware of any other generals of intelligence who are alleged to have been present at this scene?
Oh, yes, it was him.
So it would be General Khan. He's the only general of intelligence at the scene. While the scene was being explained to me, I was surprised to see one general of intelligence who never introduced himself to the members on the scene and started dictating and giving instructions that members who found the said truck with drugs be arrested. So he wants the police officers who did the drug bust to be arrested. The suspect, brackets driver, who members already placed under arrest, was released from the scene as a suspect by the said general. So the driver of the drug cargo, who'd been placed under arrest, was, according to your source, released from the scene as a suspect by General Khan. And the truck which was containing the said drugs when it was stopped was never booked into SAP 13. So the truck containing the drugs was never booked into a SAP warehouse. And then your source continues. As an experienced investigator, what I observed happening there at the scene is only abuse of power and rank, which I don't know why it was done. I informed all members placed under arrest that they need to open a case of defeating the ends of justice against the said general. So this man says, immediately after the event, I told everyone there we must open a case against General Khan. I was not happy, since I noticed what was happening is a cover strategy to protect the driver of the truck found with drugs and the origin of the said truck and drugs. The fact that members are manipulated and power of rank is used to achieve unknown or ulterior motives is unacceptable and needs to be dealt with within the should be parameters of the law, as what I observed transpiring on the said day was that some individuals are above the law, and it irritated me seeing that members enforcing the law being abused by seniors within the police. And then it's signed, and is that the same man who came to you as the source in the 252?
That's correct.
So this contemporaneous statement made by that man says that General Khan should be charged with defeating the ends of justice and that he's abused his authority and suppressed an arrest and a drug bust. And the only false evidence that this man was ever going to give was the false evidence that you and Mr. Matlala were hoping you would be paid for to exonerate General Khan and to implicate General Khumalo and General Mkonazi. You accept that that's...
No.
So where was the false evidence?
If like you asked me, did I look at the statement? I did not. And therefore, I wouldn't have known any other statement except what he was telling me. And he was one of the witnesses during the disciplinary hearing. So I did not have any other statement, and it is not. I did not even ask him what is your original statement. He said, "Look, we were called to Devon. This is what they said, and they want us to implicate the man."
Now that you know what his original statement was, do you accept that if your plan had gone ahead, false evidence would have been given against General Khumalo and General Mkonazi by this witness who was going to be paid in the scheme?
Should we had agreed to pay him? Because there was not an intention to pay him. What we wanted was the information which he had, and he gave that information. And as you say, should the trial or criminal charges been laid, it would only came out during trial when this statement is provided.
I see.
Yes.
Now this plan to trap General Khumalo and General Mkonazi was a plan that you executed with a double set of misrepresentations. First, you say you masqueraded as Mr. Matlala's ally. You said you were an agent who was pretending to be Mr. Matlala's ally, but you weren't actually. Is that correct?
That's correct.
But in relation to the SAPS members who did the 252A operation, you also masqueraded as an agent of the minister, as an employee in the minister's office.
As a comrade, yes, as a comrade to the minister.
Please speak up.
Oh, yeah, that's correct. As a comrade to the minister.
No, not as a comrade, as someone
Yes.
employed in the office of the minister.
That's correct.
And we went through your affidavit yesterday, I'd just like to take you to, I don't want to traverse what I traversed yesterday, but there is another aspect of your affidavit which I want to look at. Paragraph 5. Do you have paragraph 5 of the affidavit? It's page 43 of the exhibit bundle. There you say, on Wednesday, 29 January 2025, at approximately 18:23, I was accompanied by the Hawks officer, and we met the colonel at the Houghton Hotel. And then you say, I do not know the colonel, and this is the first time that I have met him. That was false too, wasn't it?
In the context of this, remember I operated with...
Now, you've given your explanation as to why you...
That's correct. That's
so
correct.
it was false too.
That's correct.
Now, can I understand why you had to lie under oath in relation to the fact that you knew this source? Why was it necessary for the operation for you to lie under oath about previously knowing this source? This colonel, let's call him colonel because he's a colonel.
Because I wouldn't tell even Colonel Chanel that I knew this person. I wouldn't tell him.
But why wouldn't you tell him? Why was it necessary for the operation? Why was it necessary to lie under oath?
Because it would not make, it would look, even Colonel Chanel will ask me, but why would this man, why would you record this man when you know him? Like,
sorry, why would you?
I record, you would want to know, it was my thinking then, why would I record him if I knew him?
So if Colonel Schneller knew that you and this colonel had a previous association, the whole operation would not be allowed to proceed?
Not the whole operation. Not the whole operation.
What operation?
I just felt,
what would not be allowed?
I just felt he should not know. That was my feeling that time.
So in your judgment, you decided that this was sufficient reason to lie under oath?
I don't know how you could, it sounds so different. I don't know how are we going to, it means we'll continue, even if I've provided reasons, unless, I don't know if it calls for the commission to make a ruling that it was, I don't know, it sounds otherwise like I was not doing my job. Like repeating it, you're a professional liar. Today you are lying out the oath, even though I gave reasons. This was an underground work. I don't know if a commission could come up with a certain ruling that will stay until this proceedings.
Well, I don't propose to take this further, but so maybe we can stop it there. But I do want to go to further aspects of this operation.
Yeah.
If you go down to Lieutenant Schneller's affidavit, and if we go to the sort of bottom of page 47, top of page 48, top of page 48,
Yeah.
he clearly assumed that you were employed in the office of the minister, because he says, I was informed that the complainant was Mr. Brown Mogotsi, a politician that is deployed at the office of the Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Mqunu. So he authorized this operation on the basis that you were someone from the minister's office.
That's correct.
And then if we go into the transcript of this meeting that you had with the source, we see that the source, the colonel, was reluctant to commit to writing and wanted some sort of assurance from the minister or the DNC, the Deputy National Commissioner. Let's go to page 65. Maybe if we can just clarify, I understand from this transcript that you would be man 3, man 1 would be the colonel, and man 2 would be the Hawks officer. We can't show this because names are mentioned. But if you go to the top of page 65, you see there, you say, and then the Hawks officer says the colonel doesn't want to give a statement, but he's willing to tell the minister or DNC. Would that be Deputy National Commissioner?
That's correct.
And that would be General Sabia, would it not?
In this case, perhaps I did not even think whom did he refer to. But remember, there are about 3 DNCs. I'm not sure, but it's possible it may be DNC Sabia, yes.
Who is the DNC who you refer to right through this process?
Myself.
You yourself?
Yeah, I refer to the DNC Sabia.
I see.
But for this man to say the DNC, it should not be concluded that he meant him. There are other DNCs, but
so he may not have been
let's say
referring
he
to.
meant DNC Sabia. It's fine.
Did you not try to find out which DNC he needed comfort from?
No, I did not, because he was not going to meet him or the minister anyway, so I didn't find out.
And let's see what the man says. Go to page 69, where he's expressing his misgivings. He says to you, go see the DNC and the minister and let me think. And if it can happen, or we get something to block this, okay, I get the post and fix the place. They must give something. Khan must look after me. He must give me something, a bag or something, must get a bag. Okay, so the source wants you to go and see the DNC and the minister. The colonel says, go and see the DNC and the minister and let me think. That's correct, is it not?
Yes, that's correct. I'm following.
And did you understand which DNC he was referring to? Which DNC did he want you to go and see?
Yes, I've long agreed that let's agree it is DNC Sabia.
DNC Sabia.
Yes, let's agree, even if it's not written here.
And the Hawks colonel is egging him on the basis that you can sort out his life with the minister because you're in the minister's office and all he needs to do is to email the minister. So let's take a look at paragraph, page 62.
Sorry, Advocate Josephson. Did we establish what a bag is? Is it a rank or money? I can't seem to recall.
A bag with cash inside it. Towards the bottom of the page, on page 62, the Hawks officer says, then what do you do? He writes an email or a letter to the minister, to the chief of staff, saying, this is the story, this is what happened, I'm requesting your intervention. That gives them the opportunity. So the Hawks man is saying to the colonel, write to the minister, write to the chief of staff. And 2 lines down, the colonel says, I do what? And the Hawks man says, write an email to the minister to say, this is what happened. I've got a grievance, this issue, I'm aggrieved because of X, Y, and Z. And I'm requesting your assistance in the matter. That's it. He'll sort out the rest for you. So the Hawks man's making promises to this guy that you can step in the minister's office and just make his life whole again. Let's go down a page. Top of the next page, 63, the Hawks man again. That's why we got to do it. You will write that email. You can write that email tonight even. Right, you send that email tomorrow morning. We can talk, give feedback how we're going to do that. So he's saying to the colonel, write to the minister. And then in the middle of the page, but that's what I'm saying. Brown will probably speak to the minister. The colonel's a bit sort of dodgy, and the Hawks guy says, you need to send that email tonight. And the colonel says, Brown's working with the minister, he's a police officer. And the Hawks guy says, no, he's the minister's man. And the colonel says, And the colonel and the Hawks guy says, he's the minister's man. And over the page, the colonel says, the only person who can stop it is the minister.
Which page is that?
We're now at page 64, put about 7 lines in. The only person who can stop it is the minister. And the Hawks person says, how can the minister stop it? Colonel says, how can the minister stop it? And Colonel says, misled, misrepresentation. No. Colonel's and the Hawksman says, can you? And the Colonel says, facts were misrepresented to me. I did my due diligence and worked for. And then the Hawksman says, and found the truth. Can you do a statement for that and send it to the minister? So this Hawksman is saying, Brown's from the minister's office, send your complaint to the minister. And on it goes. The central theme through all of this is the Hawksman who thinks that you are part of the minister's office is urging this person to send stuff through to the minister at every turn. Now, you didn't try to stop any of this inside this meeting. I don't see you saying, no, don't send anything to the minister. Don't send anything to the minister. Have I got it wrong?
I don't understand. You say I did not say anything.
Did you try to stop him sending something to the minister?
Who's stopping who, Commissioner?
The Hawksman is saying to the colonel, write something to the minister, give the minister a statement, email the minister. Brown's in the minister's office. He'll look after you.
Yeah, so he's talking about a statement in relation to the hearing.
Yes, that's what he wants. I think he contemplates 2 things. Yeah. 1, a statement in relation to the hearing, and 2, possibly a statement relating to how this colonel's been passed over for promotion. And he's saying, write this to the minister, and he's also saying, Brown is in that office, he'll sort you out.
That's correct.
Is there anywhere in this transcript where you try to stop that process? Where you say, maybe you shouldn't, maybe we should do it this way, or maybe don't write to the minister?
No, there's no way.
Well, weren't you worried that a letter would go to the minister or the chief of staff, and this colonel would be referring to you as someone who's working in the minister's office and has made promises to him, and then you'd be exposed?
But immediately we knew there was no way he could write a letter.
How did you know there was no way he could write a letter?
Because he relied on me to do that for him. Even if he could write the letter, he had to give it to me. There was no way he could write the letter.
Well, what the Hawksman is saying is email it to the minister.
Yeah, I don't think he could write the letter. Commissioners, I'm thinking something now, and I don't want to laugh. This is very serious, but the way he's doing it is like he was there. And I'm thinking of this other email that I have that is linked to me, my name, and but it was not a plan. But I'm just thinking, if he emailed, where was he going to email? I'm getting your point. So, but I was going to make sure that I get the letter in my hand. But I'm trying to show you, commissioners, in this thing that this is the kernel of crime intelligence talking to the Hawksman about me in that legend building that I spoke about. Who confirms this man is with the minister? I'm trying to elaborate that when this function arises, it becomes so real.
Sorry, can you just, I'm not sure I understood what you're saying. You're talking about legend building. So are you saying that the colonel was actually a colonel in crime intelligence who was part of a legend building exercise or not?
I'm saying if a colonel is telling, you see, this is man one.
The colonel, the man one is the colonel who's going to give the new statement in and is going to expose the attempt to frame General Khan.
No. I'm referring to man two.
Man two is the Hawks colonel.
Yes, the one who's talking.
Yes.
He knew. I'm sorry to use the word crime intelligence. He knew I'm not in the office of the minister. We are together when we do this 252. But
so that colonel, unlike Colonel Schneller, knew what the true state of affairs was, and he knew that you weren't in the office of the minister.
He knew.
Yes.
For the purpose of this operation.
But Colonel Schneller didn't know.
Didn't know.
So you and that colonel in military intelligence, that colonel, was he in, sorry, not military intelligence.
I said I made a mistake, he's from the Hawks.
Yes, I thought he was from the Hawks, yes. So that colonel from the Hawks and you both knew what your true status was. And you were both building a common legend inside this meeting.
That's correct.
This was a common legend you hadn't shared with Colonel Schneller, who thought that you genuinely were in the minister's office.
I couldn't share.
Couldn't share?
Couldn't share.
Okay. But the effect of that legend was you have the Hawks colonel urging the colonel who's going to be the key to this whole plan to write letters to the minister's office, to the chief of staff, and on the basis that you, Brown, are part of the minister's office. And that everything he wants, you will look after, as it were.
That's correct.
So I come back to my original question. Didn't you think that there was a serious risk coming out of this office, coming out of this meeting, that the colonel, in an attempt to get promotion or to get protection for changing his version on oath, would write a letter to the chief of staff or the minister saying, I've spoken to Mr. Mogotsi in your office, and I understand you know the situation, and this is my problem. Here are the true facts. I want to come clean now and expose this plot against General Khan, and I've spoken to Mr. Mogotsi of your office. Didn't you spot that as a risk?
There's no police officer who can write a letter and demand the rank in that manner.
Sorry.
There is no police officer who would write, even when you say write a letter, he cannot write that letter. You want to do things with me, he can't write a letter and say to the minister, I want the rank.
Even if he doesn't ask about a new rank, if he just says, I want to come clean in relation to an attempt to convict General Khan wrongly, I've been forced to give this statement on oath. I've spoken to Mr. Mogotsi of your office, and he's encouraged me to approach you to set the record straight so that an innocent man can go free. Was there not a risk that he would write that to the minister and say, I've spoken to Mr. Mogotsi of your office, he's been instrumental in this?
Yeah, those risks are always there. That's why it's called a risk. You just take it. Should he have written operation, this operation would have collapsed. But the content of what he wanted to allude to the minister in relation to the plot, perhaps the minister would still give it the attention it deserved.
Let us adjourn at this point and resume at 14:05. Let's adjourn.
Thank you, Chair.